But we can get into the big, I would say probably the biggest article of the week and the biggest bummer. And I did a separate video about it on the channel. I think I posted yesterday, but another price increase for
so ridiculous.
This time for the PlayStation 5. Obviously, we've had a couple of price increases for the Xbox. This is what I cannot remember. I don't think there has been a Nintendo Switch 2 increase yet. If I remember correctly, they did an increase for the Switch 1.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did for 2. But I have to imagine at this point that is coming soon. Like that would be the next group. But the thing that's important to know, and this is what I pointed out in the video I put out yesterday, is Nintendo scaled back their production of Switch 2 units by 1/3 because the system is not selling as they expected. And the issue I have with this is because they're just not putting out enough for that system specifically. Everything is either, well, it's also on the original Switch, which there's a bajillion of those out there, and you haven't really made the best argument for people to upgrade to a Switch 2.
And it's still wild to me that people are like the increase of the Switch 1. Like, I mean, I get it why, but it's still one of those things, like, it's still just mind-boggling to me that that's what we did.
I find it even worse than, like, I don't like any of the increases. Like, don't get me wrong. Any of the price increases for any of the systems I think is bullshit. But that is the one I take the biggest issue with because it is literally a system that is like 8-9 years old now.
Yeah.
Hardware that's been out there since 2017, and you're going to increase the price. Like,
that's crazy.
That is crazy. As far as PlayStation goes, and I'm just going to go over the North America. It is important to note this increased all over the world. I'm just going to go over the pricing in North America. The regular PS5 is now a $650 system. The digital edition, so this is the version without a disc drive, is $600, and the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I will remind you does not have a disc drive, is now a $900 machine.
That's crazy.
So if you today wanted to go out and say, you know what, I want to get a PS5 Pro, and you're like me, and you have a library of physical games for that system, that's $1,000.
Yeah.
After tax, easily.
So we have to, based off of this,
it's probably closer to 11.
I'm shooting for 13.
Like if you were to go out and buy one today, you mean?
No, I mean the PS6.
Oh, the PS6.
I'm shooting for 1250, 13, man.
Yeah, I just
don't see a spot where we increase the PS5 Pro to $900 now, and then with the disc drive going up to over $1,000. I just don't see a point where the PS6 isn't approaching $1,300.
I don't either, and I think the smartest decision that they could make at this point. And I've said all along, I don't think that the PS6 is a thing that you're going to see until 2029, 2030 at this point. And I think that's a smart decision because I think they're trying to wait and see if the GPU and RAM prices come down. Because, again, I think they know nobody wants to buy a PS6 at over $1,000. Nobody wants to do it. I also think that Sony's doing that because they want Microsoft to put out their Xbox and watch that fail, because it will.
Yeah.
Microsoft has not been shy to come out and say, and this was even before they, changed leadership and Phil Spencer and them were out. They have not been shy to come out and say, hey, this next Xbox is going to be over $1,000. They have not given an exact price point, but they have not been shy to say this will be an expensive machine. So I do think that there is some part of Sony that is also playing the waiting game. They do have a more expensive and now, in my opinion, a better machine than it was, at least when it launched in the PS5 Pro. I still do think that will be the best way to play GTA 6 if that comes out this fall. But damn, like it is so expensive. I really wish, crazy. I said this in the video I put out too, now I'm kind of kicking myself. I kind of wish I would have built that new computer this time last year, because the RAM prices were starting to go up, but it wasn't like it is today.
Yeah,
they were just starting to inch up, and I was like, oh, wait another year. I didn't think that in a year from now, I saw somebody post the other day at I don't know if it was a Best Buy or a similar type store, the RAM they were looking at was $4,000. And this is just 2 sticks of 16 gigabyte each. Exactly. And I'm just wild. Like, what is going on, man?
That is wild.
But it's just they're literally pricing people out of the hobby. And I feel like when it first started, I really truly felt like when it first started, and it was very much a tariff situation. Like that was the reason. But I feel like now it's almost being done on purpose, like continue to go so, because I do think that there is some part of this industry that is really trying to push people towards streaming games.
It's gotta
That's kind
be,
of the theory I've had right now, where it's like, okay, a lot of people are not going to be able to afford these really expensive machines, but we can get them to get a subscription and stream these games. Because again, that's a big component of Game Pass, but there's also that component to the PlayStation equivalent as well. So again, getting into conspiracy theory territory a little bit there, but at this point you have to ask, like, okay, even with the tariffs in place, the PS5 costs $150 more than it did 6 years ago. This has never happened in any other console generation we've had. It has always been the thing of, okay, like you have your early adopters, and then you have people that make the choice of, okay, well, I have this other system now. I'll wait 2 or 3 years while they build a library of games for the new thing.
Yeah.
And the price will come down. And then the people that did that this generation have learned, oh, the prices probably will never come down.
Come down, never. And at this point in time, like I said, you just have to expect it's going to be way more money next year. And then it comes into the gameplay. Like, how much are games going to increase by then? Like, I know we're at the price point now where, what is it, $69.99 is the...
For like your standard new release game, it's $70. Like even buying a game on Steam, like a brand new like AAA game, it's $70. Digital.
Mind blowing. Like, I just still can't get it. Like,
it's crazy. I mean, at least the good thing that, you know, a lot of people do have access to Steam. A lot of people do have PCs. If you ever look at the hardware surveys that Steam run, it's always people that are running on machines that are not the latest and greatest. And Steam always had, like, that's the other thing I'll say is, like, for people that are going to wait and play games when they inevitably go down in price, because that's the other thing I'd say this generation, it kind of started last generation, but it's been more of a thing this generation, is like, well, yes, we're seeing this console prices continue to increase, and it's really stupid. I would say this generation, we've also seen probably the fastest decrease on game prices from when they release than ever before.
Oh, for sure.
Like, now it's like, okay, if I just wait 2 weeks, this game is going to be $20 cheaper, almost guaranteed every time. Unless it is something like a Claire Obscure situation, you know, like where I think now that game has been on sale a few times, but only $10 cheaper. Like for the most part, everything like 2 to 3 weeks later is $20 to $30.
And that's how I feel right now. And especially not even... I feel like games nowadays are coming out with patches because they've done something wrong or they needed to fix something. And it's like, why? Like, why is it day one having patches to correct issues in it? And it just makes me not want to. It definitely makes me more selective. It has made me more selective in the handful of games that I do choose to actually purchase at full price.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than waiting several months for them to drop in price, or even for them to become available on like the PS5 thing library or on the Game Pass. Like, it's
like you and I have talked about, like Marathon, for example, is a good one where, like, yeah, I'm interested in playing Marathon. It has not sold very well, and I wouldn't be surprised if it within 6 months it's a PlayStation Plus game at this point.
Yeah.
Even though IGN is out there destined to try and get people to buy it by giving it a 9 out of 10. It's not working.
Of course.
It's not working, but I'm still very interested. I think that game looks very interesting, but not... I know it would be a mistake to buy it right now.
Like you said, well, I'm in at the price point of 20 and anything under 20. But...
yeah, for that game.
Not right now.
Like Dan and I do the same thing where it's always like we always have a price point in our head of like, okay, what would I pay for this? Like, I'm waiting for Outer Worlds 2. It's getting close. was at $41. I'm waiting for 35. So, but it's already like that game was out last fall, and this first spring sale that we just had on the PSN, it's already down to $41. So it's just fast. So that is I would say that is the flip side positive of this generation is like, yeah, we're seeing these increases all the time for these systems, but the games have never come down in price quicker than they are right now all across the board, except Nintendo, but Nintendo is Nintendo. But like my best friend, for example, he borrowed my regular PS5 last summer to play Death Stranding 2 because he has not upgraded to a PS5. He bought a Series X like I did at launch. I bought both systems at launch because I'm a crazy person. I will never do that again, by the way. But he bought a Series X, and then the other day he's like, well, I guess I'm probably never going to buy a PS5 now, because like he was getting really close to the point of like, well, maybe I'll buy one, but now it's like, no, I'm not at these prices. So it's just a bummer. And like like I said, it just paints a real doom and gloom picture for whatever the next generation is going to be.
Oh, for sure.
Like I said, unless there's some sort of significant decrease in RAM and GPU prices, I cannot imagine either of those systems coming out under $1,000.
I can't.
Even though you'll go on the forums and you'll see the PlayStation people be like, well, they're working on this algorithm to decrease the game install sizes, so you only need a terabyte drive. I'm like, yeah. Changing the SSD from 2 terabyte to 1 terabyte is not going to bring down the console price by $500. It's just not. So
no way. No way.
I don't know. Well, it's a wash right now. So it's become a real bummer every time I see one of those articles pop up, because again, and also at first, like when Microsoft would come out and say it, it really felt like on their side of things, they were just trying to sabotage shit so they can, whatever we want. And I really feel like they want to get out of this generation and put something new out.
Yeah,
because they want to wash the Series X generation down the drain, and they want to move away from it. But we'll see.